Hello, I think I've got something for you if you're a rock climber, a biker, or involved in any sports, or if you're just like me, an old senior, and you want to improve your balance. Here's an inexpensive way that you can build something and you can use it right in your house, even if it's snowing or raining outside, and you can improve your balance, and you can even do exercises on these cool balance boards and build up just a great amount of balance and strength. Now this board is simply made. I'll give you directions if you want to follow me on this video. This is a cylinder made from a 4-inch PVC pipe, and this here is just from an exercise foam cylinder. These are good for beginners. This is more advanced, and there are other ones that you can get that are even more advanced. I'll show you how they work. I've only done this twice, so forgive me if I'm not very good at it. Notice I'm even struggling to stand up. So here we go. I'll just step here to start with. I'm holding on above me right now, but I'll get to that balance point, and after I get it there, I can kind of rock back and forth. And the more you do this, the better you are at staying at that balance point. So if you'd like to try one of these, watch this video. I show you a lot of little tips in woodworking that will help you make it easier. Thank you for watching. I went to Home Depot and I got a piece of 3/4-inch plywood that was 4 feet by 2 feet. And what I did is I took that 2x4 and I split it 10 inches wide, 10 inches wide, 34 inches long, and I've been left with these 2 scrap pieces, and I think I'm going to make a little balance board out of those. Along with that, you can see here, that cost me about 20 bucks, and another 20 bucks for this piece of PVC that is 4-inch PVC. It's very sturdy, but I'm beginning to think that this is going to be very hard to balance on for a beginner. So I also have this exercise noodle that I'm going to split in half, 1/2 for each of these. So if you'd like to see how these are made, I'll go ahead and show you the steps that I use, and you can join me if you're interested. Thanks for watching. After cutting my dimensions to size, I don't want to leave this 90-degree corner that you can ram your shins into. So what I'm going to do, this is just an old tape roll. I'm going to set it here, and I'm going to use it as a pattern that I will go around each corner and remove. So I'm going to go around each corner. I'm going to do this on both of them, so 8 of these. And then I'll be taking a jigsaw and cutting just a little bit outside the line and then sanding down to the line. I have a fine cutting blade here, and I'm cutting on the back side because this jigsaw cuts on the upstroke and all the shredded fiber will be on the bottom. Even though I'm going to router it, I want to keep it clean if I can. So I'm going to cut outside of the line now. Then I'll sand down to the line. Now we're going to do that 7 more times. So what I'm going to do now is use a belt sander. If you don't have a belt sander, you can always reach for a file and file it down. But since I own one of these, I'm going to use it. And what I'm going to remember to do is keep this flat. Don't let it go up. Don't let it go down, but keep it flat, and then just spin a radius on there. Here we go. So you can see I have my board clamped down. I have my headphones that I'm going to put on in a second, and I have just a little 1/4 round bit that I'm going to use to go around and break the edge. I don't want to round it a lot. I want people to be able to have their balance even up to the edge. And I have set this on my workbench because the bit misses the workbench by about 1/4 of an inch. A lot of times this scuffs up the edge, so I'll probably take a little piece of sandpaper, just roll it around the edge to get rid of that stuff. That's all I need. Now I'm planning to put a bumper on each side of the bottom of these boards, and this is a 10-inch width. So ideally I would be putting a 9-inch one here with a 1/2-inch spacer on each side. But I happen to have this nice scrap of 2x4, so I'm gonna split it right down the middle, and then I'm gonna cut it into 7-inch pieces. So my bumpers won't be quite so long, but they'll be a little taller. And I'm gonna go and do that on my bandsaw now. Here we go on that cut. We're going to split this 2x4 with my bandsaw, power on and vacuum on. It's time to put a finish coat on these, and what I'm going to do is use some of this Minwax polyacrylic, and it's crystal clear. I'm going to brush it on. I need a wider brush, but I don't have one, so I'll make do with this one. What I'm planning to do is I'm going to lay down the good side, paint the underside, and then what I've done here is I've taken some of these corrugated fasteners and put them here, and then I'm going to take and put the boards down so I have the good side up and set it like that, and then I can paint the good side, and both are drying at the same time. I don't care if I get a little marring on the bottom, no one's going to see that anyway. So that's my setup. Let's see what happens. Here's something from Miles Craft. It's really a cool little tool. Velcro here, interchangeable pieces on the bottom, and you just take a piece of your used sanding disc from your sander and it velcros on here, and then you can do a light sanding. When you do this, you can feel very easily the roughness of the fibers coming up. And then feel again. And that's all you do. I know there's a lot of ways to do this, but what I'm doing to get these on here is I take this little measuring tool and I move this bracket so it's 1 inch, and then I can go like this and get it 1 inch on both sides, and when I get it there, then I can take and just put a blue tape right in the edge there to kind of hold it in place. So I'll put a few of these on, and then what I'll do is drill from the other side. I'll drill a hole, 2 holes that will come about here and here from the bottom side. But before I put the screws in, I will countersink a little bit, and I'll show you that in a moment. So this is kind of in place enough for drilling. I'll do that on every one of them. Now that I have that piece underneath, I measured in to hit the piece underneath right in the center and at the same distance in, and I put that on my tape here. And I'll go ahead and make a little mark like that, and the second one like that. You might be wondering why I'm not putting glue on here when I put the screws in. I'm not sure if this is a little bit too wide and is too high at the end, so I'm just going to screw into it. I've never ridden one of these before, neither have my grandsons. And if it seems to scrape when it's rocking back and forth, I'll just pull the screws out and trim a ½ inch off and put it back on. So now I'm going to take this countersink drill bit and I'm going to just countersink a teeny bit because I don't want the heads of those screws popping out at all. Just a little bit. Just guesstimating the size of that screw. And another one there. And then I'll go ahead and put a bit in and drive my screws down in there. It doesn't hurt to have a tiny little pilot hole, and you can see I'm using a drill bit that's about the size of the inner shank of the screw. I'll go ahead and drill pilot holes on each of those so there's no splitting of wood. Here we go with the pilot holes. Now I can go ahead and sink those screws right down into those pilot holes. Oh, that's nice. None of the screw head is protruding above, and it's rock solid on the bottom. There we go. Well, I'm all done and ready for Christmas. This is going to go to one family and this to another. I have my foam, easier to start with and practice with. You can even put this on a grass lawn and it'll do a better job. Then I have this PVC black 4-inch pipe, and I've put this soft rubberized shelving cover on it. And then I have these guys, the boards, and a little bit of piece of wood to block on each side. And these will be, I think, a lot of fun for my family and actually help with the balance and all that. So I'm going to try it on a soft surface with a soft roller, which is about the easiest you can get. And remember, I'm an old man, so this is like almost my first attempt at doing this. I'll ease up. And once I hold on, tip. So there's all kinds of exercises you can do while you're up on this. But I can see in time, I will learn how to do this. And I can see you're using all these isometric muscle twitches to keep balance, so this is good for you. There we go. If you'd like to know how I got this diamond checkered pattern, it was relatively simple. I took a big piece of grip tape and I laid this yardstick on top of it and took a razor blade and razor bladed pieces this thick. After I did that, then I took the same yardstick and I came across this way and I marked them off one by one, and then took an old scissors that I didn't care about destroying and cut those off as squares. Once I had those squares, then I simply took and I found the midpoint of this and drew a light line right down the midpoint. Then I laid this on that line, point to point on that midline, and then I drew another line through this corner and this corner of the top square, and then it told me where I needed to line up these squares. After that, I just filled in the blanks, and it was very easy. And it came out looking pretty darn good. I'm happy with that. Thank you for watching.